So my name is Lauryn Dubbert, and I was an intern for Kansas pregame this summer. So a little bit about me is I grew up with a family of 6. I am the youngest of all of us, and I have 3 older brothers. So I was a graduate of St. John's this past year, which is in Beloit. I'm attending Newman University next year, and I'm going to major in business marketing with an emphasis in social media or in that realm of things. And then I'm also playing basketball. I was a 3-sport athlete growing up, so I know a lot about Kansas pregame, and my brothers were featured in it, so I've just kind of been aware of everything going on. So that's kind of how the connection to this came. So what is Kansas pregame? Kansas pregame is pretty much high school sports coverage in Kansas. It tries to cover all the sports, does everything for them. It produces a magazine for every sports season. So like football is their biggest, so that's the one that I worked on was football. But football, it covers every high school in Kansas, all of the athletes that participate pretty much, and then the big athletes get on the front covers, such as the top 3 there. Those are all from the past magazines. And then they also have social media presence, so he's pretty big on Twitter. He has about 15K followers, somewhere around there. And then he just tries to get people noticed. So through this, I've noticed he talks to athletes every single day. It's just like, hey, are you coming to this event? What are you doing? How's everything going? Just trying to get people communicating with colleges and learning more about it. So I was able to be featured in this 2 years ago before my junior year. The bottom right one is like a youth movement is what they called. So we were all underclassmen that he did a picture, and it's like we went to a photo shoot, did this whole thing, and then they do an article about you. So that was the article. And John Betts is the founder of this. He wasn't here today, but Keegan McCulloch, who is a new writer for him, is here, so he will be present. And so what I did, my job was a little different than most interns here. I actually worked from home, and I didn't work a ton. It was about 100 hours this summer, and it was whenever I wanted. I probably worked an average of an hour to 2 hours a day throughout the summer. So pretty much I worked on football capsules. So what that is, or I guess I'll explain that a little more in depth later, but I worked on football capsules. I went to these football showcases, which is pretty much to help athletes get noticed. So they go in there and do different stuff to help them. And then I would take videos of athletes, I would post on his Twitter, and then I'd help with the magazine photo shoot. So the capsules was definitely my biggest job. And you can see in the bottom picture, I cropped out a little bit, or I tried to, of me sitting on the couch, the TV in the background. That's pretty much all I did is I sat there and typed on the computer every day. But the top left picture is what I start with. So I get, basically it's called it questionnaires. Every high school in the state sends it to them in different formats, random stuff, and then I put it into a form that he can then put into a magazine. So each capsule takes between probably 15 to 30 minutes depending on how difficult it is, and I do that for every high school, and so yeah, about 250 to 300 capsules in about 30 minutes or less each. So the football showcases, these were probably my favorite things to do because it was just interacting with people and being out there. But what I would do is I'd go to these things, I would help, what they do is they help athletes stand out. So if people want to get noticed by colleges, they would come to these, and pretty much it depended on how many there were, but there's probably 20 different colleges at these places ranging from D1, D2, and AIA, D3. But it helps them record better numbers such as their 40 times, their broad jump, bench, things like that. So I went to Wichita Collegiate was the first one, and then Kansas Wesleyan Salina was the next one I went to. And my job was to take videos and pictures of all the athletes there. It was to help them showcase their talents, and then I would post them on social media. And so if these play, those are some of the videos I took, and I don't think they're gonna play right now. But I would do that, and then I'd post them on social media, such as that bottom picture, and tag them, and then people would retweet them. It basically helps them get their name out there. So magazine photo shoot, pretty much what this is I talked about how he produces all of these magazines, about 3 or 4 a year, and he takes cover photos. So if you make it on the cover of these magazines, you're one of the top athletes in the state or prospect in that sport. And so he likes to showcase that. And it's a fun event to get these kids out there, put them all in a group, and take this big picture. And I can't show you any of the pictures because they're like top secret, so no one knows who's on the cover until it comes out, unless you're in it. So then they do like spotlight pictures. And that's where you take individual pictures, and then that's when Keegan would write a story about them, or other people come in and write stories about these people. And it's so much fun to help the kids like get out there and get noticed, and I loved it when I got to do it. And then what I would do is just help organize players. Like if there's a kid in the background that can't be seen, I'd tell them to scoot over, do the thing. And then I'd take extra pictures that would get posted on Twitter. So this experience helped me just to gain more experience with social media, and I think it'll help me in college on a resume. This is kind of what I want to do, so it fit perfectly. And then it learned to be attentive to detail, and it helped me learn more about Kansas pregame, the insides of it. I'd always known about it through high school and even in junior high and stuff from my brothers, but I learned what all goes into it, and it's a lot of work. And then I learned a lot about the schools and leagues that I didn't know. Like I felt like I knew about every high school in Kansas, and I can think of probably 15, 20 that I'd never even heard of. It's like, I have no idea what this is. And even some of the leagues, like, didn't know that league existed, and just kind of stuff like that. So that was cool to see. And so, yeah, I want to thank, John Betts, he's not here, but he was great helping me. And then Keegan, got to meet him, and Nex-Gen and Jackie and everyone.